So in my Cornell West video, I talked about the no labels potential run, and there was a line that triggered me so much. It was no labels is and I'm paraphrasing, obviously. No labels is considering moderate superstar Joe Manchin. I'm like, bro, like honestly, I'm gonna off myself in Minecraft. That is too much for me to take. Conservative or moderate superstar Joe Man. I mean, the audacity for somebody to print that, right?
But, you know, when a party like that is being funded by the likes of the Peter Thiels to the Michael Bloombergs, it becomes that will never be addressed on corporate media. That will never be said, you know, you're a spoiler or no, the only thing that matters is the spoiler is somebody who is fighting on behalf of the working class. And I did want to touch on something that I think is very important before we officially wind down. You know, we went to an event not too long ago for the Broward County GOP, and I thought it was very interesting because it was very similar in a lot of ways to the Trump rally that we went to back in 2018. And what I thought was so unique about it is that, yeah, you're going to have those crazies, those outliers. And we noticed that of how many would you say were there, Jen? Probably like 50 people, I guess, something like that.
Which are we talking about that barbecue?
When we went to try to get some petitions signed.
Yeah,
yes.
There were probably like 50 or so people there. Yeah.
But the problem is that there were 2 or 3 people, one person in particular, that was the outlier of that entire group.
That guy.
So here was a guy that was not only talking about how pro-life he was, but how anti-trans he was at the same time. Now,
this guy's wearing a pro-life shirt, and then he has this flag that's like, I'm assuming an anti-trans thing, just it's like a man-woman sign, whatever. It's anti-trans. And he's wearing that as his cape. And I didn't go talk to him, go figure.
And that was very similar in a lot of ways to the Trump rally, where you've got 20,000 people there and about 1 to 2, maybe 1 to 2,000 of those people are what you would classify as that rowdy, crazy bunch, whereas everybody else is your neighbor, is your friend, and they have their reasons why they support him or supporting the GOP. And I'm thinking this is also the detriment of corporate media because they are always going to hone in on the most, the most outlandish, the most obsequious, any of that crazy that you see from somebody who is the trans guy that, was stealing luggage in the airport versus the crazy conservative who coughs on people and says COVID's fake and you don't have it. And all I'm thinking is this is their doing in a lot of ways. This is the fourth estate doing their job. Is it the fourth or the fifth estate? This is the fourth.
But it's dead, so we should move on to the fifth. So
that is, but in a lot of ways, that is the reality. They will always find the outlier to make you scared that this is what's going to happen. Are there some exceptions when it comes to teachers being inappropriate with students? Yes, out of hundreds of thousands, you can always find somebody who's doing their job the wrong way. Teachers fuck students in this country on the regular. It's like, for God's sake.
I'd go with priests before I'd go against teachers on that one. I mean, we could go with, if we want to talk about dangers to children, I'd say priests far outweigh drag queens. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I personally cannot think of anything less threatening than a man in heels. I don't understand how that is remotely threatening to anybody. It's bizarre to me. Like, if I walk into a room and there's a drag queen standing here and just a typical burly man here, I feel a lot more threatened by the guy than the drag queen. I at least know I'm outrunning her. And just
one final thought on the LGBTQ community, if we're being completely honest here, guys. Conservatives talk constantly about economics and how we want to have all of our communities be successful and well-paying jobs and people want to be there. The most successful communities in the country are LGBTQ dominant in a lot of ways. Asbury Park, New Jersey, Wilton Manors, Florida, San Francisco, California, Portland, Oregon. And
well, we can get into this another time about the fact that also something about Wilton Manors is it's fairly red too, because a lot of those white gay men are Republicans. So we can talk about that another time. That's a separate issue. But
you want to talk about the log cabin Republicans, that's perfectly fine.
No, Wilton Manors is, let me tell you something. You have a very high socioeconomic neighborhood. You have 2 white male income earner households. And it is not reasonable to think that there's not going to be people that vote their wallet in that neighborhood. And so the fact that they happen to be gay is not how they necessarily vote, clearly. Because Wilton Manors has definitely shifted to like heavy on the Republican side, quite honestly. And I don't know, Mike, if you're aware, but Wilton Manors is the only city in the country with a completely gay council, mayor, whole thing.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
And they have, there's a lot of red in there, man. I'm just saying.
Oh, trust me. There are so many members of the LGBTQ plus community who are like, they care more about the class interests than they do about their own community. I mean, we all know the grifters, right? Dave Rubin, people like that, where they just Blair White, where they care more about the check than anything else. And these times are really not the smartest time to do that, if I'm just being 100% honest, you know.
No, it's scary.
Yeah, it really is. But it's a constant battle, right? Like to get people to stop voting against their own self-interest. It's going to be something that we always have to grapple with.
And you know what? If we lived in a country that had some semblance of a true hybrid system, a social democracy, capitalism fused with socialism, there would be a lot less hatred for the other. In fact, there would be a lot more embracing of the other because people would be living decent, healthy lives, and they would have less of a reason to point the finger at somebody else for their own, and they say it's their failings. No, the failing is the system. Donald Trump has merely just exposed the system for what a complete catastrophic failure that it really is. And that is the playing field that we need to
I think that his existence on this earth sort of solidified that. And I actually thought that back in the 80s. Just so we're all clear, I disliked him in the 80s.
You totally didn't. You appreciated me then. You'll appreciate me now.
I thought you and Donna were both disgusting and gauche. And I thought that your kids were morons. So no, I did not think that.
Mikey, how can people find your work, where they can get involved? Obviously, the Humanist Report is there, but if there is a website, anything, the floor is yours.
Yeah, humanistreport.com. I also am on the Leftist Mafia every Thursday at 6 p.m. PS or 5:30 p.m. PST, 8:30 ET. So yeah, you all know where to find me. I'm around. Just search for the Humanist Report. I'm the dude with the beard and glasses who is not Matt Walsh. So, yeah.
I was going to say he is a much less appealing version of you. But yes, I can sort of see this. I can see it. I mean, I'd be lying if I didn't say I saw it.
All dudes. Yeah. It's the beard and the glasses thing, right? Like Matt Walsh is if you order Humanist Report from wish.com.
I was just going to say, he just wishes he was as fabulous as you, but I digress.
Oh, he could never in a million years. He doesn't have the swagger.
Thanks for watching. If you want to support our mission to transform politics into service, please like this video, subscribe, follow us on social media, and consider joining our Patreon, where you'll get early access to our interviews as well as other exclusive content. Links are in the description. Peace out.